Hello. I'm actually in my office vlogging during the day and not wrapping up my emotional woes of the day. It's 11:40, so just before noon. I am on a break between my homeroom class. So they have 2 rounds with me today. They just finished the language arts block and they just worked independently on a close read assignment that they have been working on for the past couple of days for the boy in the striped pajamas. I use the close reading assignments as like a test. Like it's essentially like an essay test in my book. If you guys haven't used this scent, I highly recommend it. So they have been working independently on that. While they were doing that, I was getting some grading done and checking emails and all of that. And I ended class at 11:20, which is when it ends, and I had to promptly rush downstairs and scramble myself some eggs because I am starving today for some reason, and I don't have any snacks. I have no more snacks. I never really have a whole lot of food in my house because I'm a single person. All my dinners are pretty much supplied by Blue Apron or eating out, and the grocery shopping I do is really just to make sure that I have lunches, which is just salads. But I also try and buy snacks here and there, and I totally ran out of snacks. So I had to scramble some eggs. I just ate those, and I'm gonna work on some more grading in just a bit. But so far, today's better. You know, every day gets a little bit better. I wanna thank L. Reynolds. I'm skimming through the comments, or I skimmed through the comments while I ate my eggs. I wanna thank L. Reynolds. You're the real MVP, because L. Reynolds, I don't know if it's male or female, just let me know that today, if you order Starbucks through the app, you get a free drink. I think it's between March 10th and March 12th. So guess where I'll be going later on today. So I'll be going there. And yeah, that's it. As far as today, I have no meetings, no extra responsibilities that I need to take care of. So my hope is that when I end class, get everything ready for tomorrow, which should be pretty easy because Fridays, a big chunk of my day is taken up with SEL lessons, that I just am able to cook and, you know, relax a little bit, do a little bit of grading. There's that study sync assignment that's looming over my head that I need to grade, and just kind of take it easy. So, I'm hoping also that we can move a little bit forward in history. I feel like I haven't really told you what I'm teaching or shown you that lately. But in history, we just talked about Lewis and Clark yesterday because I need them to understand like what the inspiration for the Manifest Destiny was. Like once people realized there's this vast amount of land and there's these natural resources available, and some of that came through the expeditions of Lewis and Clark, that led to this massive push for westward expansion. So we watched a video on Brain Pop on Lewis and Clark. I gave them the quiz from Brain Pop, but they had to take it through Cami. And then today in my homeroom class, if we have time, depending on how things go, I'm going to show them a brief video on Polk, because Polk is the president, like during the whole concept, or during the whole birth of the concept of Manifest Destiny. So they're just going to watch a very quick video on who he was, just to get kind of acclimated to him. And then we're going to read through a little passage that I found from Khan Academy. Believe it or not, I rarely use Khan Academy, and not for any reason aside from the fact that I just never think to use it. So I was looking for stuff yesterday on Manifest Destiny. I came across a really good video on Khan Academy, and then I also found this little passage that gives some background information on James K. Polk. So we're just going to read that together, and then we're going to look at this piece of art. I was really hoping to be able to do this with my smart board, with my Samsung display, but that's just not going to happen. And I don't know when we're going back and if we're going back this year, but we're going to look at this piece of art that's called American Progress, and this was done in 1872 during that massive push for westward expansion. And I got this idea from a lesson that I saw on Stanford Education Group, and I just put you down. I don't know why, because I'm just going to pick you back up. And so all I'm going to ask them to do is just really look at this piece of art with the idea that this came out during this push for westward expansion, and this concept that it's God's will that the United States just expands, and just ask them to tell me what they notice. And hopefully they notice things like, and if they don't, I'm going to point it out, things like, you know, the woman here is holding this cord and she's helping to kind of establish a communication system. There's railroad tracks behind her. It's much lighter behind her than it is in front of her. Like, what are these Native Americans doing down here? What's happening to the buffalo? Does the body language of this group of people, the Native Americans here, look different than the body language of these people here? So stuff like that. We're just going to talk about it. And that is probably as far as we're going to get in history today. So that is my plan. I'm not 100% sure if we'll get to the history portion because they need to finish this close read assignment by the end of the day, but we'll see. So that's my check-in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to update you guys on. No, nothing else. So anywho, let me look at some of this and then I'll check back in later. I just finished with my homeroom class. Excuse me. Most of the time was spent with them finishing up that close read assignment. I maybe did 7 minutes worth of history instruction. We just reviewed who Lewis and Clark was and why they were significant in contributing to the concept of manifest destiny. And we did the little read up on James K. Polk, and I showed them a quick video that I found on YouTube. And then we didn't have enough time to start anything else, so I let them out of class 4 minutes early. And so my switch class is coming at 1:20. They will be starting the day with the song Run the World by Beyonce for Women's History Month. They've been listening to female empowerment songs, and we briefly talked about in my switch class, I didn't do this with my homeroom class, why there is even, no, we did it in both classes, why there's even a Women's History Month and not a Men's History Month, and they always know the answer to that question. So I just wanted to make sure. And they are only working on the close reading assignment because they're a little bit behind my homeroom class because of my schedule. So I don't think I showed this to you guys at all this week because I've been an emotional mess this week. But what I decided to do with this close reading assignment is this. I gave them the prompt. I feel like I talked about this, but I don't think so. So this is the close read writing prompt that came strictly from Study Sync. I wanted us to talk about it as a class, kind of pull it apart a little bit as a class. So I made this Jamboard. I was the editor. They just viewed it as we talked about it. We broke down the topic in a more basic way, said that the audience is going to be me, so the language needs to be academic in nature, and that the purpose with this assignment was to inform / explain, not to persuade and not to entertain. So they knew that they were not writing a story, and the words once upon a time should never occur. So they have access to the prompt there, and then of course the prompt is on Study Sync as well, so they are working on that. But we did spend time after reading the prompt, we did spend time listening to the audio again. I can't tell you how many times we've listened to the audio because it's been several. And I just remind them that that's okay. Like, we're supposed to listen to these audio or to listen to the excerpts of the story multiple times because we want to get a deeper understanding of it. And with every exposure to it, we're able to look at it a little bit more deeply. So we listened to it again. That was the last time. And then we kind of talked through it. The prompt is telling the students that Bruno, the main character, undergoes a change. They have to identify the change, talk about why it changes, and then apply that to like the world in a more broad sense. So we listened to it again. I paused at one point to kind of ask them, at this point in the excerpt, how would you describe Bruno as a person? Like, what does his character seem to be? What is his personality or his temperament like? And then we discussed and talked about why. And then I continued. And then the point in the excerpt where the change occurs, I paused it and asked them, at what point does the author indicate to the reader that now things have changed for Bruno? So we talked about it. I had a student identify the exact piece of writing that signifies that. And then we kind of stopped discussing there. Now that's me. In my opinion, I'm feeding them a great deal of information to prepare them. And at the end of the day, I don't mind. There is going to come a point as they progress in their education where they won't be as spoon-fed, but I know I'm at least assisting them in understanding how to look at text in relationship to a prompt and kind of really take your time and wait through it. So they're going to be working on that today. And I'm going to continue to grade because I have things that I need to grade. And then, I don't know, there's something I'm supposed to say and I just can't remember what it is. I think I wanted to show you that. And then I also did share a video with them the other day.
We featured many religions here on FTD.
That looks like this. Let me back it up.
We featured many religions.
Well, I can't show you what it looks like because it's not cooperating, but it's called 10 Surprising Facts About Judaism. So they learned a little bit about Judaism through the video. Again, so that they can see that Jewish people are more than the Holocaust. They were more than that before the Holocaust, and they are definitely more than that afterwards. So I just had them watch the video and asked a couple volunteers to share something that they learned about the culture that they didn't know before, and then that was it. So one more class to go, and then I get to eat. Well, then I get to go to Starbucks and eat, and yeah, that's it. Let's do the first sip. Again, thanks to the person that told me about this because I didn't even see it on my app today. Oh man. This is a good one. It's so good that it makes you want to go back into Starbucks and say, can you tell me who made this so that the next time I order my cold brew, I can somehow magically request that they make it. That's how good it is. So I'm done teaching. It's about 3:30. Need my seat cover. It's about 3:30. Switch class was fine. They were working independently, so nothing to report there. Just graded like I said I would. Oh, you know what? I take that back. There is something to report because I think I am at the point where, hold on, let me concentrate because this person's just not very considerate in their driving. I'm just at a point where, like I said earlier, I can only do so much. There's only so much within my control in this virtual setting, and I just have to let go of the things I can't control, knowing that I've reached out to parents, contacted parents, talked to students, and now it's kind of on them. So they're working on this assignment, this close read assignment that they know is counted as a test. It is a written response to a prompt that I showed you a little bit earlier. They have been given class time. They got class time yesterday to do it. They will get got class time today, and they will get class time tomorrow. And I do ask that they plan out their response. And we talked about this prompt as a class. We broke it down. I led them in the right direction. And so I have an aide that comes in and works with my students. And she came in and I asked her in the chat, can you check on the following students just to kind of see what progress they've made? So because the outline itself is on Cami, she can go in and look at what progress they're making or not making on Google Classroom. So she did that, reported back that there were a few students who, despite having had a significant amount of time over the last day and a half, had nothing. Like, there was nothing there. So I said, okay, I'm going to open up a breakout room and I'm going to check in with those students. So I created a special breakout room, and said, if you see this breakout room titled this, you need to go in. The rest of you don't go into your rooms, because I have preset breakout rooms. And so I go in there. First, one student just doesn't join the room at all. Just doesn't even go in there. Another student leaves the session altogether, but he has intermittent internet issues, so he may have just gotten kicked out on accident. And then one student does go. So when I get in the room, it's really just me and this one other student. And so I asked the student to unmute and adjust their camera, because of course I'm looking at their ceiling, and adjust their camera so that I can at least see part of their face when I'm speaking. So they do that, and I say, okay, so-and-so, we're looking at your outline and it's blank. Like, you have nothing there, even though we've been working on this for the past day and a half. Like, what have you been working on this whole time? There was a little bit of a silence, and then that student just bopped out. Like, they literally just said, nope, I'm not answering that question. I'm not only leaving the breakout room, I'm just leaving class altogether, and I'm just not coming back. And I told my aide after class, I said, I literally just started laughing, because at that point, I just don't even know. It's just like, this is where we are, where kids are like, nope, I'm not answering that question. I'm not even going to take any assistance that you may be willing to offer me. I'm just leaving, because I just can't. So that happened in switch class. And then the other students, the one that I think got kicked off, was able to communicate with the aide. It sounds like that student was choosing to write out their plan on paper before typing it, which is totally fine. And the other one just never really responded, so I had to contact that parent. But you know what? My laughter, I felt like, was healthy, because that tells me that I'm getting to a place where I realize it's not you. Like, you can't, there's nothing else you could have done. So I contacted the two parents of the students that didn't respond or didn't engage, let them know what was going on. I commented on their assignment so that there's documentation. And then I just went about my life. So that's what happened in Switch today. Anywho, I'm getting ready to go home now. Genesis is eating, so she's feeling better. There are honestly just days where I think she's just not feeling well, and I think it's her sinuses and her allergies, and some days are worse than others, and I think that affects her desire to want to eat. So she was eating. She was crunching on that dog food nice and heartily today just before I left to get my Starbucks, so that's good. Getting ready to go home now and enjoy my Starbucks, eat some salad. I have some leftover rice that I made yesterday because I wanted something warm, because it was California cold yesterday. So I'm gonna eat some lunch, decompress for a minute, get things ready for tomorrow. And I may or may not continue to grade. I feel like I made like a dent in the grading I needed to do. But I also know that I need to cook, so I need to be mindful of my time. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here, just to kind of shut it down for the day, enjoy my lunch, enjoy a little bit of relaxing, do all the things I need to do. But if you enjoyed today's vlog, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you head over there. And as always, I hope that you guys are well. And if you are not well, please be well and know that it's a work in progress. And I will be sure to see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.